All right, what is up, Ridgepoint family?
I don't know if we're live yet. And now we're live.
All right, what is up, Ridgepoint family? We're going to spend some time just trying to make sure everyone knows we're online. So if you would, just take time right now and begin to share this video. Let our church fam, and as well as anybody else that you might want to partake of tonight's time together. Are you laughing at my word choice already?
No, I'm not laughing at your word choices.
She whispered like no one can hear her.
We're getting acclimated. We're getting here. We have...
Man, if you've never been just staring at a camera with nobody else in the room, it's different.
It is very different.
Hello, Denise. How are you?
So listen, we want to check in and make sure everybody's doing well to start. We're together, the three of us tonight, to do three things. We want to update everyone as to a little bit of what's happening this week. This is Holy Week for us. This is a big deal. So number one, we want to update people as to what's happening this week at Ridgepoint churches. Everything's changed just a little bit. Number two, we want to spend some time worshiping together. They have a couple of songs picked out. But then also we want to take one by request. So if you have two things we're asking from our audience tonight.
Be nice, please.
Be nice for sure. But two things we're asking is, number one, if you have a song request for these two to sing, they have politely asked me not to join in the singing.
Amen. You do not want to hear that.
No, we didn't ask him. We just have the ability to shut his mic off.
That's true.
So he wasn't really given a choice.
I could get in real close. And
Well, but that's a pretty directional mic by design. You'd have to kind of knock her off the seat, which I would not be too opposed to seeing you try.
That would be fun. But number three, we want to spend time at the end just praying for you. I know there are a lot of people within our community right now, and by our community I mean our city, our region, but even within our church, there are a lot of people right now that are facing a lot of questions, a lot of doubts. So if there's something we can pray for, we're going to spend time towards the end, spending some time praying together. So two things we're asking for you. Number one is if you want a song for them to sing tonight, they're going to take one song by request. They already have two songs picked out for us. And then the second thing is add your prayer request as we meet. What do we have going on so far, Beth?
Someone is asking if they can guess what's behind the sheet, and they will give points. And I'm trying to figure out who's moderating tonight if Justin is here tonight.
It's definitely not Justin unless he's on a computer over there. He might be really fast.
I'm good.
Yeah. So Justin, bring us up to speed real quick, man. How are you guys doing? How's your family doing?
We're doing good. We got 3 6 and under running around the house, so we don't have to worry about what we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. It's just trying to prevent forest fires.
Yeah, life isn't quiet.
But no. I mean, considering honestly, God's used this time a lot to open my eyes up to just how blessed I am. Mm-hmm. I've been able to work from home, which has been a really blessing because a lot of people don't get that opportunity. So I've been able to be around my family all the time, for better for worse. But it's kind of cool because my kids are really young, and even as young as they are, I look back at older pictures from a year, 2 years ago, and I think, man, I wish I could have spent more time with them at that age. But now I'm getting to do that.
Right.
Absolutely. So it really puts things in perspective. You really get to just really enjoy these moments that you're never going to get more of.
Right. This is a very unusual time, and I talked about on Sunday trying to make the most of this season that we're in.
Rachel and Jameson, don't even think about it.
What are they doing?
I'll do the moves. Wait, I'm playing guitar. I can't. My bad.
We're not doing Every Move I Make or Mary, Did You Know? Even if it is one of my favorites, Rachel.
Yeah, she knows that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have just a 6-year-old now at home. And between him having schoolwork that he has to get done and him wanting to play all the time, I'm like, all right, buddy, I got to work some. And it's nonstop. So I couldn't imagine having 3 at that age.
And fortunately, we only have one who's doing school right now, so it's kind of divide and conquer. My wife has been going and locking herself and him in the room while I basically just herd cats with the other two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, but obviously, guys, this is Easter week. I shared this yesterday. I guess it was early this morning. Our days just kind of meshed together. But earlier this morning, just how this week our government started to prepare us that we're in probably the 2-week stretch where we're going to get the hardest news that we'll probably face when it comes to coronavirus. I think it was the Surgeon General that compared it kind of to our 9/11, our a couple of different events that he mentioned, our Pearl Harbor type situations. But I said, I know that we're receiving a lot of bad news, but this week is a week we dedicate to the greatest news the world's ever seen, and that is that Jesus is alive. And we're going to celebrate that this coming Sunday morning. We celebrate every Sunday, but this Sunday especially, we're going to be able to do that in a very unique way. We'll talk about how we can make the most of that a little bit later. But I actually requested one of the songs tonight that we're going to sing because it has so much to do with that message of the cross and how Jesus really is the hope for every one of us. So why don't you guys lead us in our first song?
How great the chasm that lay between us. How high the mountain I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night. Then through the darkness, your loving kindness tore through the shadows of my soul. The work is finished, the end is written. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your buried body began to breathe. Out of the silence, the roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me. Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your buried body began to breathe. Out of the silence, the roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me. Jesus, yours is the victory. Oh, hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Jesus Christ, my living hope. God, you are my living hope.
All the time that in a world that just seems like there's everything right now is unsettled and everyone's looking for answers. I think that we're looking for how do I know for sure that I'm going to be safe from this? We're looking at the numbers constantly going up as we're kind of still in the upswing for the curve. We're waiting for that thing to flatten out a little bit. People are looking for questions for what's going to happen with their job. And for a lot of people, they're like, all right, when can we start to return to some sense of normalcy? And that's why I think, especially, Justin, going into this Easter season, we have a chance this Easter, unlike anything we've ever had before, maybe since 9/11, where people are really searching for answers, and we have a chance right now to make a big difference, a huge impact.
Well, I think right now, I think it's safe to say that everybody's paying attention right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't necessarily, they might not even know what they're trying to pay attention to, but everybody is focused right now because of the situation we're in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy, you know. When 9/11 happened, you think, oh, well, that's like our lifetime, you know, crazy thing to happen, and
right.
we would have never thought something like this would have happened. But
right.
I don't believe it was an accident, and I believe that God will use it, and that I believe it's the church that needs to capitalize on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to step up and really hone in on what God is trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I think, you know, what you said is so true. Beth, I know we talked last week about just the way communities responded. I think, you know, what Justin alluded to earlier was just that after 9/11, there was this cohesion. There was no longer political parties. There was the president, whoever, you know, at that point, George W. Bush, but had 90% rating. Everybody just seemed to rally together. I feel the same thing right now, that even though we're distant, like you see each other from a distance, and you're purposely going out of your way, giving each other not just 6 feet, but sometimes 10 feet in passing. Right. But there's kind of a nod of appreciation and respect, saying, man, if things weren't like they were right now, I might give you a hug, but I can't.
Right.
It's because everybody's so desperate just to see somebody other than their family.
Right. Listen, especially right now, if you're at home, I know we have some people that are watching that are single, and it's even harder for you because we go home and we have families, and it isn't really a lot of quiet time to sit there and think about what it's like to be quarantined and alone. But some of you are sitting at home saying, this is all I see most of the day, if not all of the day. And so we're trying as much as we can. We've talked a lot about breaking down the wall through technology to break down the wall between the church and your home. And so if there is anything that we can do to help you out in your experience right now and what you're going through, man, if you feel lost and alone, we want to be able to connect with you. We have a lot of ways to do that. But even if it's just personally us having conversations, we want to be able to do that.
Most definitely. We've done a lot of crazy things this week via at the internet.
Yes.
Played games with my parents, played games with other people in the church online. Let me just say, teaching a 6-year-old how to play bingo over the internet was very interesting. But shout out to the Chacones. We had a good time.
That's right. And we're planning a Can Jam game with them outside very soon.
That should be awesome, too.
Yeah, so look for ways just to connect with each other. We do have some things we want to share that are coming up here at Ridgepoint Church. First of all, this week, we've had a lot going on with our RPC kids and Ridgepoint students. This week, RPC Kids has an RPC Kids Got Talent going on this week. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's all about?
So, if you are in RPC Kids, Miss Tanya, a.k.a. TT, to our family, is looking for kids to do talents. Every kid has a talent. God has given them something, whether it's drawing, whether it's singing, whether it's doing cartwheels through the house, whether it's doing, anything random. But on the RPC Kids page, there is a post that you can send your videos, send your photos, send your comments, and they are going to, she's going to choose a winner, and the winner is going to get a prize. So they're doing something different. It's a surprise drawing this week, but also the video or photo that gets the most likes will also get extra entries into the drawing. So that's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. Speaking of RPC Kids, they're kind of launching this, but this is for the entire family. If you were around at Christmas time, we had Christmas Jam, which was a really good Christmas experience. Jingle Jam. Great experience for the entire family. This year we had to do it a little bit differently. Obviously, we couldn't have everybody gather together for Easter Jam. So we put some resources together. Now, here's the thing. We're handing them out in a drive-thru tomorrow here at Ridgepoint Church. There are 2 different times, but you have to sign up. You can't just show up to pick those up. You have to sign up. So go to the events page on our website, and you can sign up for one of the 2 times tomorrow to pick up your material to participate this year in Easter Jam. So let's talk a little bit. I want to hear, is there some interaction going on? I know last week, all it took for there to be a lot of interaction was to talk about some of the local cuisines that we were eating. It seems like everyone right now wants to support local, so we talked a lot last week about food, and it seems like that's when everybody kind of jumped on and started to talk. Justin, I want to ask you, I know that we like to eat. It's obvious that we like to eat.
What gave that away?
I don't know.
That's why I'm wearing my Fat Guy Camel black shirt.
Allie's going to love that you said that, by the way.
Yeah. She's proud of me.
Yeah. But tell me, what are some of the favorite local places that you guys like to go?
Oh, man, of course, Sal's in Auburndale for me is like as far as Italian food, that's really good. And then Jamina's in Auburndale does the tacos and the Mexican cuisine really well.
But didn't you guys try someplace in Bartow that you like chicken pot pie or something?
My Lord. Okay, hold on. This is
commercial time.
I can't even pronounce what the dish is, but it was life-changing. It's a lady who Allie has done her hair since she started doing hair forever and a day, and she has a restaurant down there, and I guess once a month she has this, it's chicken torta amazing. I don't know how to pronounce it, but she does that once a month, and I guess it was interesting because
Allie,
her husband...
put the name in the comments.
Yeah, Allie, throw her a bone in the comments for real. Her name's Shayna, but I guess she made this for her husband, and he was like, where did you get this recipe? He's like, this is just like my grandmother's, and she's the only one that could ever make it like this. Turns out her grandmother that gave it to her was friends with his grandmother. So, like, it was just this crazy story. But all of that aside, it was incredible.
Chicken tetrazzini.
That's the one.
From Cookie Jar Bake Shop and Eatery. Thanks,
yeah,
Allie.
oh man. It was really depressing because we ended up, when it was gone, because it lasted for a couple days, but I didn't even want to eat it all. I was just so sad when it was gone because it was so good.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you guys have had a favorite spot that you've been eating. We've been trying to eat at home as much as we can, but at the same time,
that's not happening this week.
This week's been a little bit crazy, but we've been trying to support some of the locals. What has been your favorite place so far that we've gone to?
Chick-fil-A.
Not Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. Don't get me wrong. We tried Adler's this week. That was pretty good.
All the pictures I've seen of that look pretty good.
You need to try. They have deep fried pickle spears, but they're wrapped in mozzarella cheese.
I didn't hear a word after deep fried pickle spears.
But wrapped in mozzarella cheese.
Yeah, the cheese.
Can I tell you? We got like
cheese
one order thinking, we'll try it.
Oh no, I can see that.
They were the bomb.
Yeah, they were gone pretty quickly. We should have gotten more of those.
Yeah.
I think right now, if we were able to meet together, I think that with these two new restaurants that have popped up,
Yes,
Adler's and
nuggets.
Burger Bunker would be an incredible taste test. They're both so good.
Oh yeah, we had that not too long ago too.
They're
that's
both
hard to beat.
Really, really good.
Hard to beat.
Yeah. So by the way, I know people are popping in. We've shared. There's two things we want to get from you right now. Number one is if you have a song that you want to request. We have one more song they're about to do. But then at the end, they'll do one song by request. So I have an early favorite. I saw a couple people recommend a song. So it's my favorite so far, but we'll see what happens in the next few minutes.
Shout out to Duck Dynasty. Thanks, Aaron.
He would.
Who was it?
Aaron Yates.
Ah, yeah.
What's up, Aaron? How you doing, buddy? Miss you, man.
Justin's got a little bit. My beard was competing, and I trimmed it
Nah,
off
this
a
is
little
like teenage juvenile Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm still flirting
Although I
with
think they all
manhood
kind
as
of-
far as they're concerned.
Yeah, I think they kind of shaved theirs off though.
Oh, did they?
I think so. I'm not sure. Listen, we had planned something really big for Good Friday coming up this week. Obviously, we can't do that in our regular session, and so we're not going to meet on campus. We're not going to do what we had kind of planned. We'll push that back till next year. But we are doing this Friday night a special Zoom Bible study about Good Friday, kind of around that idea. So if you want in on that, we'll share the information. But we're going to do a special 8 o'clock this coming Friday night, a Zoom Bible study focusing on the passion of Jesus and what he went through. We would love for you to get in on that. We're pushing it back so you can kind of get the kids settled. 8 o'clock this Friday night, we're going to have a Zoom Bible study that's happening. And then in just a second, after this next song, I'm actually going to share a little bit about Easter, what's going to happen this Sunday. But I want you guys to be able to get to another song. This is actually the request that I saw. So they're getting set up for this.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
All right.
See, I'm trying to think. How does this go? Sorry.
Diva over here.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. That's who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you are. That is who just who you are.
You know, we were watching earlier this week, our family group was watching a video that was put together by Passion City Church, Louis Giglio's church, and Louis was speaking on this topic of 20 inches to mercy, and in it he talked about, it was a very pertinent, a very timely message of something he just preached last couple weeks at his church, and he talked about, he said there's two questions our world's facing right now. The first is fairly obvious. Whenever there's any sort of tragedy, the question comes up, how could a good God allow this to happen? And the second, very similar, but is the picture of, is this, when something like this happens, is coronavirus, is that God's judgment upon the world? Is it God's judgment upon our country? And obviously that's a long and complicated answer. But in the middle of all of that is this idea that we believe fully in that this didn't take God by surprise. He was aware of it, and that in that we can see God's hand. One of the things that I've been super encouraged by is to see the way the community has responded, the way people have watched out for each other. I've loved to see that. I think this is giving, like Justin alluded to earlier, it's giving us a chance to hang out with our family in this pause from normal life. It's giving us a chance to be at home, to maybe put down some of the things that were distractions before and have some focused time. And I was reminded in Psalm 121, there's this passage all about how God's with us. It says, I will lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. It seems like right now, for a lot of people that are in the midst of despair, they're asking a question like, where is God in all of this? What's God doing? Is he even aware of our suffering? And Psalm 120 here is giving us this promise that the one who's watching out for us, he doesn't slumber. He's not asleep at the wheel on this, that he's aware of this. And his promise is to go through that journey with us. So I know there are some people that are watching right now, and maybe you're facing discouragement. Maybe you feel like you're isolated and alone. Maybe you're wondering about where that paycheck's coming from, or again, we talked about earlier, whether or not you're going to get the virus, or any of those things that are real worries in our world today. The promise of God is that he is going to be with us, that he's not asleep, that he knows what's going on. And this week we're going to celebrate the biggest moment in our world's history, the very idea that Jesus would come to the earth, he'd take on the form of man, that he'd live a sinless life and yet face a very cruel death. But in the resurrection, he defeated sin, death, and the grave. And so because of that, we sing songs of freedom. We sing songs that those of us that were captive have been set free. Those of us that were hopeless before have found hope. Not in the things that we do, but in the completed work of what Jesus did for us. And it's because of that why we gather together. So this week is Easter. And for me, and I shared this the last couple of weeks really, this will be the first time I remember that most of us are not going to get up on Sunday morning and put on our Sunday best. I mean, a lot of us, we're not a church that necessarily gets dressed up on a Sunday morning. Justin wearing a black t-shirt and jeans is probably what he wears most Sunday mornings.
It's true.
Yeah, it's just kind of, this is who we are. But still, when it comes to Easter, there are people that like to get dressed up, and I understand that entirely. I'm wondering if there's people who are still going to get dressed up and take their Easter family photos as if they're going to church, but then that doesn't happen.
I hope not. Zach's the only one we got an Easter outfit for, but that's because I shopped way early.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll probably get a picture of him, but
yeah. So it's gonna be unusual. Justin, what about you? You think your family's gonna get dressed up, or are they gonna be wearing their PJs and watching church?
I highly doubt they're gonna get dressed up.
Yeah.
Just because I know what a goat rodeo it is, trying to herd in 3 kids and get them dressed up, especially just to not go anywhere. Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know though. She might want to get some pictures. I'll leave that up to the boss.
Yeah, I understand. So with this being a very unusual Easter, I've heard a lot of people asking, like, is it going to mean that or more people watch? And the truth is, nobody really knows. We've never been through anything like this before. As our government responds, I don't want to be overly critical of government because none of them have ever been through anything like this before. So the same thing when it comes to church, the way that churches are being run. I know there are some churches that even decided to meet this past weekend. We didn't think that was really a wise choice at all, but I know some churches that did that. And so everyone's responding in their own way, trying to figure this out, and no one knows what's going to happen on Sunday morning. But I believe this fully. I believe that maybe in our lifetime we've never had an opportunity to reach as many people as we have a chance to reach this coming Sunday. I said this 2 weeks ago, but even more so with Easter being here. If the average church doubles in attendance on the Sunday morning of Easter, I believe fully that because of the way the internet has come alive with churches. I know this past Sunday, Justin, we had a little bit of some technical difficulties because in our stream, but in reality it's because there are so many churches trying to broadcast at that same time.
Well, you think of it's probably not 100% true. If 70%, if 60% of the churches, even half, 50%, try to stream all at the same time, Facebook, YouTube, they just can't handle it. They're not going to be. Somebody's going to get short end of the stick as far as streaming. Some people it might go through fine. Other people will look like ours.
Yeah, but we made some adjustments this past week, and we think we got it handled. We think we have it figured out. So we'll be streaming this week live both on Facebook and on YouTube. And we think we got all those glitches worked out. We think it's going to work well this week. So a couple of things you can do, because this isn't the typical Easter where I can say, hey, why don't you guys join me at church on Sunday? There's some practical things you can do. I encouraged everybody this past week, talk to somebody on the phone, talk to somebody on FaceTime that you haven't talked to in a while that you want to connect with. This is a chance we might never have again to slow the speed of life down and to invest in some relationships. There are plenty of ways. We're going to share some events and some things, some ways that you can share what's happening on Easter. But still, the best way we can have people respond is through the personal invitation that comes from a friend inviting them. So whether that's through you talking to them on the phone or FaceTiming with them, or whether it's you taking something that we create and sharing it and starting a watch party for people to watch with you. Our goal this year especially is to do as much as we can digitally to invest in the people around us and let them know that just because we can't meet in person on Easter Sunday doesn't mean we're not going to celebrate in a very real way the living hope that we sang about earlier. So please, by all means, this coming Sunday morning, Easter in your jammies, Easter in your Sunday best, whatever you feel comfortable, but this Sunday at 10:10, join us this Sunday and invite some of your friends to join us. We really want to even be able to double our audience on Sunday morning to share this incredible message of hope.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. You guys have a song picked out of the songs that we've seen?
So somebody requested?
Somebody requested this, yeah.
Was the Waymaker got requested too? Or was that
Waymaker was like the number one request.
Yeah. So, can I share a little bit about this?
Yeah, and that's cool. That's good to know. I enjoy this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Knowing what people are thinking.
Yeah. It's funny that they picked these two songs. A while back, we were going through a season in our life where God was just giving us a series of challenges. And Beth, at that point, had gone on the mirror in our bathroom. We have a giant mirror that extends across we have a large vanity in our bathroom, and there's a big, huge mirror. And on my side of the mirror, she wrote the lyrics to the song they're about to sing. And on her side of the mirror, she wrote a lyric from the song that we just sang in Waymaker.
Even when I don't feel it, you're working. Even when I can't see it, you're working. It's a reminder that we need, and I need it in my face every day.
Yeah.
So it's still up there on the mirror. It's been there for months, but it's because we need it.
What a great reminder, and I think this song does that as well.
The weapon may be formed, but it won't prosper. When the darkness falls, it won't prevail. 'Cause the God I serve knows only how to triumph. My God will never fail. My God will never fail. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. Every war he wages, he will win. I'm not backing down from any giant. I know how the story ends. Yes, I know how this story ends. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. Yeah, you turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. Yeah, you turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. Yeah, you turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. Yeah, you turn it for good. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. Yeah, you turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. Yeah, you turn it for good. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord.
I've said this the last couple of weeks, but this obviously Easter is going to be different. But whenever we get the clearance, all clear to come back and meet together as a church, whatever Sunday that is, we're going to make that our Easter Sunday. We want to have everyone gather together. And here's the thing, I got a front row seat right now, and I was just worshiping almost to the point of tears, being with you guys as you guys sang. And so, man, if you want to join me down front when that first Sunday comes, I think there's going to be freedom. People are going to want to be together. So I'm going to be down front worshiping, and so if you want to join me down front, man, I'd love for you to join with us as we just want to be a part of being able to worship together as a community again. But for right now, stay safe. We've had some prayer requests that have come in, so we want to make sure that we get those. We have some people praying for some relatives that are working in the healthcare field, making sure that they stay safe. People praying for our church, for our community, that this passes over quickly. The good news is, it seems, paying attention to the news, that people are starting to respond accordingly, and so it seems like maybe we're getting closer to this thing topping off and starting to go down, maybe quicker than they anticipated. We're hoping that's the case. So just pray for that as well. By the way, I didn't mention these, but we had a couple of requests that we didn't get to tonight. We'll have to hold off on them, but I saw a free bird or two that were in there. I won't say who, but someone had mentioned Sweet Home Alabama. And then I will mention who said this one. Denise Chapman said anything by Post Malone. I thought it was funny that she was the one.
We definitely need to have prayer.
I thought it was as funny as she was the one that shared that as anything else. So I don't know if there's any other prayer requests. I'm trying to scroll through them and see if I missed any, but we want to pray for those things.
People who are still working, who are
Mm-hmm.
nervous,
Out in the middle of it, yeah.
worried about working. That was one of them that I saw.
Yeah. I did see someone. We got to pray for this person. Someone said, "Man, I wish I was like Justin."
Oof.
Man, pray for that. I'm just
eat some more groceries than you can be.
But I understand, man. You got a crazy talent. I'm glad that you're able to share that with us. So anything else before we pray? Anything else that we got to get to? If not, feel free at any point to reach out to us and to let us know, hey, could you pray for this? I know last week we had someone share a prayer request, and I followed up with them, just making sure that everything was okay with them. And so if there's stuff that you don't want to share publicly, if offline, if we're friends on Facebook, message me. If you have my phone number, text me or call me, and we'd love to be able to pray with you individually as well. So you want to start us off in praying?
Sure.
All right.
God, we just thank you so much for today and just for the opportunity that we have to meet together online and just to worship you and to praise you and to pray together, to have a little bit of normalcy in the middle of what is a crazy, crazy season, God. And right now I just pray for all of those people that are still in the workforce, that are quote-unquote essential, God. We're all essential in your eyes, but the people that have to be out there in the middle of it, God, I pray that you would just protect them, watch over them, keep all of our families from harm and from getting this illness, God. I pray that you would just help us all to make wise choices and be able to be as safe as we possibly can be in this crazy time, God. I pray for those specifically that have people who are working in the medical field, God. I know I've got family who's in the medical field, and just dealing with this is absolutely scary, and having to go and be on the front lines day in and day out, God. I pray that you would just put a hedge of protection around them and watch over them, God. I pray that you would just give us all peace in the middle of this storm, peace that only you can give us, and that you would just wrap your arms around us and love us and remind us whose we are.
And God, as we just shared the scripture in the book of Psalms, God, just how you're with us, and God, none of this is taking you by surprise. God, I pray that in the midst of this uncertainty that life is bringing right now, that those who've called upon the name of Jesus can be real ambassadors in sharing that message of hope with the world around us. God, I pray with Easter being here, what an incredible time to be alive, and for so many people to have questions, and for us to be able to point them to a website, a Facebook page, a YouTube page, and say, hey, here's where we're going to broadcast a message of hope that the world desperately needs. God, we lift up those right now that are alone and hurting. We lift up those who have doubts and uncertainties. God, I believe that even someone listening right now that are watching us on Facebook Live is coming saying, I don't really know for sure where my relationship with God is. And the reality is that this coronavirus, this COVID-19 that's out there has brought to my mind that I'm not in control of life. There's certain things, there are a lot of things that are way beyond my control. And I want to yield my life to the one who is in control. God, where does our help come from? Our help comes from you, the maker of heaven and the earth, and the redeemer of man. God, for those who don't have that hope tonight, those who don't know for sure that, man, if this is all that life has to offer, if this is the end of the line, that I know where my hope is found. My hope's found entirely in Jesus. God, if there's someone who doesn't have that hope, I pray tonight is the night that they discover that hope for the very first time. For God, everything that we do as a church, everything that we put out as a church is to lead people in a growing relationship with Him. So God, let him be at the forefront of everything that we do. And let our messages, even in a season of uncertainty, God, let the message be clear that Jesus remains our only hope. God bless us. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Anything you guys have to add?
Don't forget to sign up for Easter Jam stuff tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The deadline is, so you can pick it up tomorrow.
Yep.
And
Good Friday.
Good Friday Zoom service at 8 o'clock, Bible study, and then we'll see you Sunday morning at 10:10.
Sounds great. Thank you guys for checking us out.